This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important updates to share with you. President Biden met with multiple utility executives to push the Build Back Better plan. Bernie Sanders is pushing for lowering drug prices. I'll play you a clip of a fiery speech of him on the Senate floor talking about that. We'll go over this article. 500,000 Americans to be sent $500 checks next month. Are you one of them? The IRS is still having a lot of delays when it comes to tax returns, and it looks like mask mandates are starting to drop as well as COVID numbers. I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Thursday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So IRS delays are blocking Americans from getting thousands of dollars in returns. They're struggling to keep their homes, afford childcare, and feed their families. So some Americans have been waiting months for their tax returns from an overburdened IRS. The agency is underfunded and understaffed, and the impact is trickling down to people's lives. Taxpayers waiting on refunds said they were struggling with bills and cutting back on groceries. So I feel like with the IRS pushing to get their money whenever taxes are due, it should be the other way around. I think that the people should push for their money from the IRS. There should be penalties, there should be interest. Let me know down in the comments below if you think the IRS should have to pay interest for any late tax returns. So more on that here. IRS delays will be extraordinarily high again in Warren's agency's taxpayer advocate. So yeah, there's a lot of delays. Another thing here, it is a challenge. The IRS wants more staff to cut its backlog, but $25,000 salaries aren't going to draw job seekers, Watchdogger says. So yeah, it's tough to get people to work at the IRS, but I still think there's a lot of incompetency going on at the IRS. Let me know if you agree with me on that. So Bernie Sanders is pushing for more lower drug prices. So Sanders calls on Democrats to bring up drug pricing bill in the Senate. He's pushing for lowering the drug prices as he has for many, many years, decades pretty much. In the Build Back Better plan, it does lower the drug prices, which is one of the key parts of the Democrats' plan. Take a look at what Bernie Sanders has to say here.
We have an opportunity to lower prescription drug costs without threatening access to therapies or cures, or the future of handling of giving an advantage, frankly, to our global rivals like the Chinese. With a bipartisan and bicameral effort undertaken through regular order, we could make a major impact on these issues. This legislation, unfortunately, does no such thing. It is thoroughly unvetted, showing no signs of technical assistance or practical feasibility, has not, as I said, received a CBO score or even an informal analysis or a committee hearing. It did not advance through regular process in the Senate. Mr. Chairman, or Madam, or Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, I see that our time is running out, and so I will end my comments at this point, but just ask my colleagues to let us engage in regular order in the Finance Committee in the Senate and work these issues through. There are a lot of ideas on the table. Let's work them through rather than try to cram through one side's idea on the very day the bill was introduced in the Senate. I object.
I ask unanimous consent.
The objection is heard. The senator from Vermont.
For 2 minutes. I say to my friend from Idaho, we've been going through regular order dealing with prescription drugs for 40 years. Hasn't quite worked. Your bill has gone nowhere. My bill has gone nowhere. If you got objections to what Senator Klobuchar and I are doing, let's debate them on the floor of the Senate. We've heard all the talking points from you that the pharmaceutical industry wrote. I got that. They spend a lot of money writing these talking points. Let's have that debate right here. The bill that Senator Klobuchar and I are proposing is supported by over 80% of the American people, and I dare say a vast majority of the people of Idaho. If you want to oppose it, go for it. Let's have the damn debate right here on the floor. And if it takes 1 week, great. Takes 2 weeks, great. You will agree with me that this is an issue that the American people care about. So I would hope that you would reconsider. Let's bring the floor to the House, offer your amendments. Let's have the debate. Thank you, Mr. President.
What are your thoughts on what Bernie Sanders has to say? Do you agree, disagree? If lowering the drug prices is so important, they should probably just have that as a standalone bill compared to having it with multiple things that aren't pleasing everybody. I feel like almost everybody would agree that lowering drug prices is a good idea, right? Let me know your thoughts on that. So, speaking of Build Back Better, Schumer and Manchin's relationship has crumbled over the Build Back Better. Probably Manchin's relationship with almost all other Democrats have crumbled with that. And then President Biden meets with utility executives in push for spending agenda. So President Biden met with multiple utility CEOs to push his bill, saying, "I think this is the beginning of a God-willing new era in the generation of electricity." So President Biden was also pushing that electric vehicles are the future in this meeting. And one executive said that the bill would allow the utility to be carbon-free sooner and help scrutinize and achieve just transition to help retain coal miners. So, so it looks like President Biden's still pushing for the Build Back Better, although Manchin's still not on board. So I'm not sure what their plan is there. Moving on, Americans are binging on credit card debt. It just grew at the fastest rate in 22 years. So, Americans' holiday shopping and end-of-year purchases tend to push credit card balances up, but even so, Americans still spending big on their credit cards last year. So, during the last 3 months of 2021, credit card balances increased by $52 billion to $860 billion, the largest quarterly increase in a 22-year history of data. So, I don't think Americans are spending a lot of money on shopping, like discretionary spending. I think it's more just to survive, paying for medical bills, paying for food, rent, utilities. It's getting really bad for a lot of people. Speaking of checks and everything going out, so 1,000 families to start getting $2,000 payments this week. Are you eligible? So I went over this, I think yesterday. This is going on in Phoenix, Arizona. So they're getting a total of $12,000 on debit cards over the next 12 months through the city's financial program for 1,000 families. The reason why it's $2,000 is just because for 1 month or this month they're paying $2,000 because January they weren't able to pay that $1,000. So it's $1,000 per month there. Then another state here that I haven't mentioned before, 500,000 Americans to be sent $500 checks next month. Are you one of them? So low-income essential workers in Massachusetts have been chosen to receive the bonus payments. Governor Charlie Baker said the payments are part of the COVID-19 Essential Employee Premium Pay Program. It's part of the $4 billion rescue plan the governor signed back in December of 2021. So it's going to give, so the people who are eligible, they have to have household income at or below 300% of the federal poverty line, which means making less than $38,000. And so then they're going to get $500 checks that way. And when it comes to COVID cases are plummeting and death could decline soon. Also, abrupt end to mask mandates reflects a shifting political landscape. So mask mandates aren't just a Democrat-Republican thing. Looks like a lot of Democrats are leaning toward getting rid of mask mandates now. So Biden is getting left behind by his own party as Democratic governors across the U.S. move to lift mask mandates. So take a look at this video clip right here. But first, I want to ask you, what do you believe? Mask on, mask off? What do you think now with the current state of COVID and everything going on? Are mask mandates necessary, not necessary? Let me know your thoughts on that. Take a look at this video clip right here.
The dam appears to be breaking on mask mandates. Rules are ending left and right in places that had been aggressive in applying them and aggressive in defending them. Governors in liberal-leaning states rolling back restrictions as the White House and the CDC now face pressure to update federal mask guidance. New York, the nation's original COVID epicenter, just shifted its strict indoor mask mandate. It's gone, effective tomorrow. Officials in New York City say they're still going to recommend masks be worn indoors. But Governor Kathy Hochul says her state has made tremendous progress in getting COVID under control.
Numbers are coming down, and it is time to adapt. I suspect we're going to see many, many people still wearing their masks. We are not saying it's over.
Well, now the focus shifts to schools. Governor Hochul says students and teachers across New York must still mask up in the classrooms, at least until next month. The decision at odds with other states in the Northeast. Today, Massachusetts said it will drop its mask mandate for schools at the end of the month. Connecticut planning to do the same. New Jersey dropping the rule next month. Only 8 states have yet to announce official end dates for mask requirements in schools. That's according to data from Education Week. Many Republican-led states scrapped their mask rules months ago. The CDC director says her agency is working on new mask guidelines for states, but she insists now is not the time to lift the mandates.
We are working on that guidance. We are working on, following the trends for the moment. Our hospitalizations are still high. Our death rates are still high. So as we work towards that and as we are encouraged by the current trends, we are not there yet.
You wonder if they'll ever get it all together. Right now, more than 96,000 Americans are in hospitals sick with COVID. That's data from HHS. Hospitalizations remain high, but they've dropped sharply since the peak 3 weeks ago. And Johns Hopkins reports we're averaging more than 2,400 deaths in America every day. Governors justifying the ending of mask rules by citing models that show all the key metrics will decline in the coming weeks. Not that they have now. On our top story tonight, here's CNBC's Perry Russell.
Indoor mask mandates continue to drop.
We are lifting Rhode Island's statewide mask or proof of vaccination protocol.
In Illinois,
it's the end of the statewide mask mandate.
It's a mixed decision. Masks come off inside at the end of the month, but not in schools.
We have kids going to school for 6 to 8 hours, 5 days a week, week after week after week. That's very different than someone going to a bar.
Today, Massachusetts joined the list in making masks optional in the classroom, defying CDC Director Rochelle Walensky.
She's applying what I would describe as a national standard, but within that 50 states, you have a lot of states that are in different places.
A new poll reveals a political divide in supporting local mask mandates. 88% of Democrats support them, 40% of Republicans. But in Virginia, Democratic state leaders are now joining Republicans in a bill to end the mandate in schools. One Democrat is quoted saying, "This train is leaving the station." The head of the second largest teachers union is asking the CDC for help.
I hope that the CDC actually does its job. It is still the gold standard and weighs in here so that we have a standard by which we can judge.
The White House is now facing questions of whether they risk looking out of touch if the CDC does not update guidelines.
From the federal government, what our responsibility to do is to abide by what the president committed to on the campaign, which is to listen to scientists, listen to data. That doesn't move at the speed of politics, it moves at the speed of data.
Even though the mandates are being dropped, that does not mean we are done with masks as a whole. In Illinois, the governor is asking people to carry a mask with them where they go because you still have to wear one on the bus and on the subway. That still falls under those federal guidelines. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. Can I tell you why something that you should really do? You should try something that will help people, like giving a person a hand. Even though if they're mean, you should help them so they could probably be nice to you. But if someone is nice to you, you should be nice back to them. Because they'll think that you're really nice and they want to be your friend more often. So that's all I wanted to tell you. And also I have one more thing to tell you. If someone is hurt, then give them a hand. That's all the advice that I wanted to tell you. But 2021, bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. As you might tell, I'm a little under the weather today. Nose is running, voice is scratchy. I was playing pickleball until 9 o'clock last night. I think it was in the 40s, so definitely paying for it now. Anyways, if you want to check out my latest videos on my other channel, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.